It's an understatement to say that Andrew Tate is a controversial guy. Either you really like him or you hate him with every fiber of your being. There really doesn't seem to be much of an in-between with the people that I've talked to. And yeah, he's currently sitting in a Romanian jail cell. Not exactly a 5-star accommodation. But what happened? Who is Andrew Tate and how did he get arrested? That's what we're going to talk about today. Andrew Tate is an enigma. He started out as a kickboxer, and by all accounts, a really good one. Sadly, once he got a taste of fame and money from his kickboxing career, he decided that he hadn't had enough. He went on to a TV show called Big Brother, but was swiftly kicked off. Then came his rise as a well, I'm not really sure what he is. I don't want to call him a philosopher, because nothing he said has been that deep, but I guess he'd probably be considered a philosopher. Now I know, some people will disagree with me calling him a philosopher. After all, no one ever called Socrates the top G. But Tate built an empire on sharing his ideas, his way of approaching life, and his philosophy with literally anyone who would listen. Now, I would be lying to you if I told you that Tate's philosophy and outlook on life weren't controversial. He talked a lot about men and women and how men should approach their relationships with women in their lives. He's a bit of what we in the business would call a red pill guru. He would constantly make comments that were outrageous, shocking, stuff that you have to stop and listen to, which worked well for him. The majority of his points would actually be very plain, boring, self-help advice, delivered in a mildly offensive way, but that one shocking statement that he made, that would draw you in. That's what made him so big. You see, Andrew Tate is a lot of things, but no one can say he isn't a genius at getting online engagement. Minute-long clips of Tate following that formula, shocking statement followed by boring self-help talk, went viral on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, basically anywhere you can watch short-form videos. You'd find Tate videos there. Part of that came from his strategy of guerrilla marketing, where he encouraged his fans to make those kinds of clips of him and post them everywhere they can. This ended with basically every social media site being flooded with hundreds of accounts, all posting slightly different clips from Tate, growing his name awareness ridiculously quickly. Since it was mostly short form videos going viral of him, his main audience was middle school to high school kids, mainly boys, as his views on women were, well, let's say divisive. This led to a bit of a moral panic among some more reactionary parents, thinking that he was poisoning the minds of the youth, a sentiment that probably led to his mass deplatforming. He was essentially banned from every social media network until returning to Twitter recently after Elon Musk's purchase of the site. Being banned from everything didn't really have that big of an effect on his name recognition though, since his strategy of having random people posting his clips kept him going. But anyway, returning to Twitter would seem to many to be his undoing, despite that not being true. You've probably seen on YouTube and Twitter, maybe even from a corporate news source, that Tate was arrested because of a tweet he made with a pizza box. But it turns out that was just completely made up by a random Twitter blue check journalist. So how did that happen? Well, like everything surrounding Tate, it's all really weird. For no apparent reason, Andrew Tate tweeted at Greta Thunberg about how he has 33 cars and asked her to send him her email address so he could, quote, send a complete list of my car collection and their respected enormous emissions, with a picture of him fueling up one of his cars. Now, Greta Thunberg is a 19-year-old, somewhat controversial climate activist, almost a bit of a climate extremist if you ask me, but she really didn't do anything to provoke this from Tate specifically, which really makes me think that Tate was just sitting at home getting pissed that there exists a teenage girl who doesn't like cars, to the point that he decided to flex on her for no reason. Again, Tate's kind of a weird guy. Now, despite being chirped at out of nowhere, you gotta admit, Greta Thunberg destroyed Andrew Tate by responding with a simple, yes please, do enlighten me, email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com, to which Tate responded, how dare you? Like, what'd you expect, Tate? Her to respond nicely? I guess he probably didn't think that she'd respond at all. Despite Greta's response being a bit childish, it kinda blew Tate out of the water, and went a bit viral among the type of people who retweet tweets from either Greta Thunberg or Andrew Tate. Anyway, Tate couldn't take Greta's response laying down. He basically had to respond, since people laughing at him for getting ratioed on Twitter by a 19-year-old girl kinda goes against his red pill super masculine philosophy. He decided to respond in a video. The video itself doesn't really matter, but at one point in the video, he gets handed a couple of pizzas from Jerry's Pizza, a Romanian pizza chain. Now fast forward a couple of days, Tate is arrested and detained on charges of human trafficking, among other heinous crimes. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the charges because it seems like something that YouTube wouldn't like too much, and it's not really that important what he was accused of, it's how they arrested him that interests me. You see, pretty soon after it was announced that Tate was arrested, a journalist named Alejandra Caraballo put out this tweet. Romanian authorities needed proof that Andrew Tate was in the country, so they reportedly used his social media posts. His ridiculous video yesterday featured a pizza from a Romanian pizza chain, Jerry's Pizza, confirming he was in the country. This is absolutely epic. Now that kind of reads like one of those stories on Reddit that ends with, and everybody clapped for a reason. It was just false, like completely false. I honestly don't know how Alejandra can call herself a journalist, because it seems like she's just a purveyor of fake news. And don't take that from me. About 2 hours after putting up that tweet, Alejandra responded to the tweet thread with the following. Update: New York Times asked the Romanian prosecutor, and they denied a connection between the pizza box and the arrest. However, despite the entire story being made up by a random blue checkmark journalist, and being completely false in every way, it still spread like wildfire. This is kind of a pattern with modern day journalism where people will post something viral that gets spread all around social media, only for it to be false and have to issue a correction. Of course, the correction never goes as viral as the original tweet, so people just assume the original story is true, because no one actually looks into anything anymore. Regardless, this story was literally the type of story that a Reddit mod would remove for being unbelievable, and yet it still spread. All sorts of journalists, YouTubers, streamers, basically everyone with a platform was making fun of Tate for getting arrested over a pizza box. I really don't understand how these people didn't think for a second. Do they think that Romania doesn't have passport control? Like, they do. They know who's coming in and out of their country. Even if he somehow avoided the passport control, he had posted a tweet a few days before with a caption about how he was in Romania. Seems like it would make more sense for that to tip them off than a pizza box. But I guess that's not exactly viral material. Or, you know, you could think for a few more seconds and realize that when the cops are arresting someone like Tate, they almost certainly have people watching him, his home, and everyone's movements. Cops don't typically act based off social media posts like this journalist seems to think. I don't know, maybe I'm just irrationally annoyed by this, but I just can't wrap my head around how so many people fell for such an obvious hoax. What do you guys think? Did you fall for it? If so, why? I bet more than a couple of you fell for it because some big influencer had retweeted it without fact checking it. And maybe that's the real issue. No one takes more than 3 seconds to think about anything, since it's easier to just go, "Ha, funny," and hit that retweet button. Anyway, even though Andrew Tate has been occasionally tweeting from his detainment, I don't think we're gonna hear too much from him soon. A judge in Romania ordered that he has to be held for 30 days, so I guess he's not posting bail anytime soon. I predict that in about 35 days, all of our feeds are gonna be filled by Tate telling jail stories. So at least we have that to look forward to / spend time annoyed at the inevitability of his return. I don't know about you guys, but I don't really have that much faith in the justice system in Eastern European countries like Romania. They tend to be pretty corrupt. So given Tate's apparent wealth, I'd be surprised if they actually managed to get anything to stick to him. What do you guys think? Do you think he's gonna actually be convicted of anything? That's basically it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day, and God bless you.